Yo, so here's a fun way to pull dynamics out of a sound that weren't there in the first place using a free plugin. And the free plugin in question is MCompressor. So basically MCompressor is a kind of compressor that lets you draw the transfer function. If you're not familiar with transfer functions, I would recommend you watch my video on it. It'll probably help this make more sense. But basically if you just draw this custom shape here, doing this kind of thing is compression. This is gating. This is upwards expansion. Downwards this is like upwards expansion and so on. But what we can also do is we can do a kind of wave folding thing here, where basically we're mapping input gain to output gain, and we can just kind of put these little dents in here, which basically creates weird dynamic hierarchies where the quieter stuff will suddenly be louder, then there's a section of bit louder stuff that's quieter again, then louder. And this way we can kind of pull dynamics out of sounds that weren't there in the first place. So I'm just gonna mute this for now. Just a bit of sound design here and just putting this on there. It's a bit quiet. You can see you want this kind of playhead moving on the thing where you put all the movement. Make these envelopes relatively fast by kind of turning attack and release down. This adds all these weird dynamics. Let's find another bit of sound design to do this on. Here I have like a weird granularizer kind of thing. So what I can do is I can get MCompressor and let's just observe how this kind of moves it. So what we could do is we could just make, okay, if the sound ever reaches here, we're just gonna boost it up a ton in volume. So this is gonna kind of flick the sound up. Let's put a limiter after for safety. Let's see how it's kind of getting flicked up here. Bring this here. Maybe also put some movement here, and then on the louder stuff, just gonna make chaos basically. And this just adds these weird bits of dynamic to a sound that weren't there before. We're basically expanding the sound, but in like a strange way, not in a way that's kind of preserving the gain hierarchies, if that makes any sense. If you make attack and release very fast, it's gonna get noisier. If you make it slow, it's gonna get smoother. We could just put another one, kind of pull some more dynamics out of there, or we could like do this on a bass or something like that. Let's find something good here. Just like a slow movement here, and we can just get this to kind of fold the dynamics with MCompressor. To basically say, okay, when it gets too loud, I want it to flick down again, and then I'm just gonna do a bunch of nonsense here. And kind of smooth these out a bit so it's less kind of abrasive. Just get these here, remove this one maybe, and kind of turn off snap to grid. I don't need that. I'm at adult. Can make my own grid. You can see how it kind of adds this up and down movement there that wasn't there before. Do this here. And then we can kind of add a ton of, let's maybe just resize this, and just add a ton of weird spikes in here like this. And kind of add these little extra gestures into our sound. Something like that. Can kind of see where the sound is at which point and what we want to do to the sound at that point. By the way, this plugin is free if I didn't mention that. You can hear all these extra little flicks and wobbles. that this is adding in. So that's pretty cool. Dynamic folding is what I would probably call this using MCompressor. Cheers.